Have you guys seen the Youngblood AI? And Captain America. There's a Captain America one here.
Sublime.
Too.
Let's see.
Beautiful.
The Rob Liefeld cap chest.
Peak physical specimen right there.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I love it. Good stuff. He's ripped, dude. He's all battle damaged. Yeah.
Did you see that little AI thing that they were doing? Like, you know, Liefeld fans were trying to prove that this drawing was actually it was accurate, and the camera spun him around, and it was like this.
Yeah. And AI fixed it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow, you guys were right all along. Like, you know, that looks
Yeah. Now it's actually a Arnold tracing, right? Except one arm has been removed.
Yeah, you need to push one arm forward, and like he was doing this, and that's why his pec on the other side popped out the way that it did, and his body was turned like 3/4. So
his head's in the wrong place, basically.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
His shoulders,
his dinner on that chest, man. You can put a plate there, a drink while you're laying on the couch,
turkey leg, whatever you need.
Yeah,
yeah. He just needs
Read
a
a
straw.
book.
Put the drink with a straw. He's just good to go.
Anyways, tremendous. And then this one came up. I think I saw this today. This Youngblood one. Let me make sure I'm sharing that. Okay. Recreated the cover here for Youngblood #1. But if you see, they made combat really short, and Chapel very short. See their little stunty
because
legs?
they were behind a ball that they were all
yeah, they were originally behind a ball in the original one. And Art of Roy went in here and tried to shred this thing, leaving out the fact that this is an AI screw up. It's not a Rob Liefeld screw up.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, Rob's, I just had it. Where was it? Here's the Rob cover. For anyone that isn't aware, let me go large here. See, they're all on a ball. So they're all kind of falling back, and these taller guys are further back on the ball, and the tallest guy is the furthest back on the ball. So, you know, whatever. There's some fuckery there. There's some fuckery afoot, guys, but, you know, it's like the rule of cool.
That's right.
So, anywho.
It is getting harder to hate AI, John. I actually did some AI today, some Cyberfrog AI, and I'm telling you right now, like, Grok Imagine is so fun. So I got these 2 images of Heather and Anne that were made by somebody else. Maybe Mortal V, maybe somebody like that made this. I don't know for sure. But because I have these, I can do anything. So I made Anne turn into a dystopia and scare Heather.
I am vertical, but if you put your ear to the ground, you will hear me rotting.
Isn't that fucking wild?
Whoa.
And then I did something else. I got the action figure, right? So that's like, you can't put a drawing in there. You have to put something that's real. So I put the action figure in there. And then
he saved her.
Yeah, he saved her from burning Philadelphia. Look at that. Look how cute that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I could get like a better AI does not understand Cyberfrog. I can do the action figure and it works. And then here's Ben Reilly. Look at this. That fly.
Wow.
He's very hippie.
And it looks like the dude from Avenged Sevenfold.
It does.
Yeah, like this is the kid. This is the West Memphis. This is Damian Eccles from the West Memphis 3.
Oh, wow.
And all I did was I cut out some wings, and then I just stuck some insect arms to him.
Wait, what's the West Memphis 3?
They killed and sodomized 3 little boys.
Oh my God!
Back in 1993. And I think he was the influence for Deathfly. You know, that's the kind of, because it happened in 93. So that's why Ben Reilly kind of looks like him. So I thought I would try it and then just kind of bring him to life. And then I did I did him and Anne and Heather like all together, but I can't get it quite to work. But it's, I mean, it is so fucking cool. Like just by pasting that shit together, you can make your own stuff with good results.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's really cool. Shane, where did you go? Is Shane going to be the Mandy of this show?
No, he's right. I got to go. I'm sorry to everybody in the chat.
Don't. Shane.
Sorry to Shane.
Speaking of Mortal V, he sent me this. He's wondering if this was a tangent on this drawing. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That's his leg. That's his leg there.
Yeah, I figure, like you look, the finger touching his leg right here, definitely a tangent. Let's see.
Yeah.
That's maybe.
Wait, that's not a penis?
What?
Penis?
What are you talking about?
No,
This is his hand.
weird.
This is his leg.
It's a leg.
It's a leg. He's stepping on his penis. Oh,
It's a third leg, John. It's a third leg, John.
Oh, Jesus. No, it's not, Shane. It's not.
Is this corn? Is this manga corn?
No, guys, it's not his dick. It's dude's leg, Mega Man's leg.
Yeah, why would you think it's his dick? Just because it looks just like his dick and it's in the exact right place?
Well, it's either his dick or he's like leaping off of his dick. Either way, it's not good.
Yeah.
Maybe he's kicking him in the dick.
Oh,
People do that.
Yeah, it's true. It's
It's a
a good
move.
opening move.
Yeah, kick him in the dick. I tried to kick a guy in his dick once. Yeah, it's like David and Goliath. I was David, and this fucking Goliath dude was coming down on me at a bar, and I had one shot, and it didn't work.
Yeah,
He grabbed my head. He threw me down against the fucking hood of a fucking car, and thank God he's one of those big guys that are just like, they're so big and they're cool, collected. I didn't know who he was, but anyways, it wasn't even my fight. It was my brother's fight, and he's fighting like half a bar, and somehow I got involved, and I was the only one that left with a black eye. Not from that dude.
You left
from
with
the
a
dude my
black eye?
brother was fighting. Because everybody else left except me, apparently. So the whole crowd turned on me. I got slammed against the hood, and I thought I was just going to get pummeled at that point, because I'm like, this is where the pummeling happens. So this dude was like a gentle giant. I didn't know that, but he's just like, hey man, what do you say? Something like, hey man, I need to be cool. I'm like, all right, yeah. What am I going to do? And as soon as he let me up, dude that was trying to fight my brother jumped over the fucking crowd, swung on me, hit me right in the eye, and gave me a massive black eye.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. So after that, I was ushered off to the car, where I found half my goddamn family already sitting in the car while I'm over there taking out
Wrap this up.
all the fucking hits, and we left.
Well, I mean, at least they stuck around and watched. I mean, they didn't.
No,
wait.
they didn't. They left. They were in the car. I had to go find them in the car waiting for me. I was the only one that left wounded. I was like, what the fuck?
You guys were talking about
Apologizing to everyone.
the AI animation. I'm pretty sure this is AI animation, but because I was looking at the comments.
Well, you know what? First of all, I'm sorry, Shane, just real quick. Somebody grab that, run that through AI, and see what AI decides about that. Is that a penis or a leg? I'm sorry. Now go ahead, Shane. AI will tell the truth.
AI will tell the truth. So this is like Venom animation, I guess, a fan made.
That looks cool,
wow.
man.
This fucking psyop anime. Fucking psyop anime.
Well,
He was sitting in that space with Panda to get people to let him teach him how to grip. Where's the video of that shit? Like, when is he gonna release that video?
Well, psyop anime.
Oh, okay. This is a mix of that other video. Psyop Queen or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this Venom animation is actually.
That's cool.
I mean, it doesn't
that
understand.
looks fucking great. Now, is that hand drawn or is that an AI? What's going on?
It's AI.
Okay.
But it's just the animation, like he's literally like swinging backwards. I mean, if you're watching it, he's not really coming at you. He's actually going backwards. Like the motion's all fucking weird, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like we're probably in a year or two, we're making our own cartoons, I think, with our characters. think that's where we're at in a couple of years.
You know, that drools over his shit. And
Yeah. I'll just turn
Someone in
this
chat complained that he looked too skinny. He does look skinny, man, but he also looks fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean,
So
they're trying to make
I can dig
anime. They're trying to make an anime version. I could see this.
That'd be great. If that's what it
Some of
was
this
right there,
jumping
I'd watch
Yeah.
it.
I think it'd be cool if it was
Some of the
Carnage. It
jumping
looks
is
like
good.
Carnage.
Yeah, definitely more like Carnage. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not on board with AI like you and Ethan are, but then I see shit
You will
like
be,
this.
Shane. You will be.
Makes me
When you
want to
say
do it
on
and enjoy it.
board, I mean, I don't know how you can deny this or deny like how much fun it is to bring your own stuff to life.
Well,
on board
when I
with it,
say
like,
on
is
board,
different.
being on board with it, like I'm not wanting to plug my shit into it. That's where I'm at. Like I'm not wanting to feed it my artwork. That's where I'm not on board yet. But you know, would I want to make like a type of animation, a 232 that is not my artwork? Yeah. Like if I could get an anime version of 232, the problem with feeding it your artwork is like I'm basically giving it permission for other people to lift my artwork. Any type of feathering, any type of anatomy, I'm giving it permission to do that. But if I could generate like this as 232, then like an anime version, I like that.
Wait, I gave Grok a dick pic. Is that gonna make my dick everyone's dick? Like, am I gonna be the patient zero for dicks?
You're teaching the AI what your dick looks like so it can recreate it for everyone else. Yeah.
Yep.
You're training the AI to know what your dick looks like.
Well,
Yeah, one day you're going to get a knock at the door, and it's going to be a perfect clone of just your dick.
Yeah.
Dude, I like
all right.
it trying to understand Venom's tongue. You know, something that makes zero sense. Like, look at
That's weird.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man, because it's still like he's that fucking symbiote, you know, like the little tendrils and shit. Like, it's not even a real tongue. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
I can dig it. Like, that looks fucking like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. The downside is that every time you upload your artwork to an AI, you're training it how to do your style so that you can have your style be duplicated for other people.
Yeah, I mean, the other issue is that other people are going to upload your stuff into AI. That's
True.
the other crazy part of it. So
Yeah, it's very
almost unavoidable.
Laissez-faire for sure. There's no rules right now, and it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I think where it gets bad is when people use it to be creative rather than be creative and then use the AI to empower their creativity. They're replacing their ability to be creative with the AI, and I think that's bad. We've seen that though.
There's a manga company suing right now. Yanzi had sent me the article like a week or two ago because basically their artwork's being fed into it without their permission and they own the rights. So like there's like tons and tons of problems that will get fleshed out eventually. Like the legalities of it, like, but that's what's crazy about it. Everybody jumps on board without actually understanding the legalities of it. I saw like a Coca-Cola commercial today when I was on the treadmill. 100% AI, has to be 100% AI. It looked like it. Coca-Cola doesn't give a shit because they own Coca-Cola. They don't give a fuck. You know, like I think advertising is great.
They don't own polar bears.
Yeah, well, they had a squirrel, polar bear, seal. But everything about it looked AI. Now that's going to be the problem when all TV commercials look AI and not one commercial pops out or stands out because they all look like generated, like with the same, you know, lighting gloss effect, you know, that AI is getting in. This to me is interesting because it just looks like an anime. Like to me, I'm more interested in this type of thing than the other AI stuff.
Yeah. I have something, John, if you want to share it. It's a photo bash I did that used to be in the opening of the Waffle Lodge show. Watch this.
You're always welcome back.
So, for a short little clip like that, I'm able to take a still photo that I photo bashed of one person from a Twilight Zone, another person that I just built whole cloth, and then you get, you know, the photo fades in the color.
You're always welcome back.
There you go.
There's a
the Twilight Zone where he has the eye underneath his hat?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why he's from Venus, so it says Vinny S on his
Yeah,
lapel, and I had all this fun shit in there. But you can
Yanzi's in the chat. Yanzi's in the chat. Fuck.
Oh, nice. What's up?
Yanzi, Ethan did not call you a fat Asian, I promise.
Oh,
she's
Christ.
she's- She said Shonen Jump sued for their IPs being fed into Chat GPT. Okay. So a lot of companies are already getting in there.
I'm dedicating this piece of AI that I just did to Yanzi, and you'll see why. Here it is. So you got Heather wearing Yanzi's cat ears, and look, Deathfly and I said, hey, give me some severe blue lighting here, just to change the look of it. Now look how fucking cool that is. And Heather screams, "Will they come and act like pieces of shit?" I mean, that's cool, isn't it? I mean, it's not cool.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, man. Because I just keep thinking about like God, 2 years ago, Shane had that walk cycle with Inglorious Rex, and there was probably a small team of guys that probably put a good week, 2 weeks into that stuff. Now you can do that stuff in 30 seconds to render a 6-second clip. So yeah, and where it's going to be in another 2 years, insane.
Life, it never die. Women are my favorite guys. Sex, I'm one thing more. Tell the world, stop the war. Boom, hear the bass go zoom. Have a body, feel the groove. Cyber system overload. Everybody move, man.
We have a new plot leak, not for Avengers Doomsday, but for Avengers Secret Wars, that I do believe tells us, if this report is true, it tells us how Avengers Doomsday is sort of going to end. So if you're trying to avoid spoilers, you should click away now. But with this new one, there are very interesting things about this new plot leak for Secret Wars. Some things that I thought might happen, but it does have some crazy aspects to it, like the return of the Infinity Stones, or at least one specific Infinity Stone used for a very specific purpose. It also talks about a time jump in the movie between Doomsday and Secret Wars. It's pretty crazy, as with all leaks, take it with a grain of salt, but let's dive into it. So this is coming from the scooper Majestic. When it comes to Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, we've been talking about a few scoopers who have seemingly have inside information from sources. Majestic has been one of them, and this is what the plot report says. Avengers Secret Wars will take place 8 years after the events of Avengers Doomsday. All timelines and universes converge in the void, creating Battleworld, which brings together many variations of different characters and new cities called domains. This is basically taken out of the comics. I'm talking about the domains right now. The domains are taken out of the comics, and there are barons of each domain from Secret Wars. A lot of them are villains, and they rule them, and there are rules established by Doctor Doom, and if they break those rules, Sheriff Strange and the Thor Corps, a bunch of different Thor who can wield Mjolnir, that's how they determine who gets to be a part of the Thor Corps. They bring people in to see if they can lift Mjolnir. If they can, they become part of the Thor Corps. They are Doom's police force, and they make sure everything is going according to Doom's law throughout the entire world, throughout Battleworld. So there are barons who are in charge, and sometimes they come to face Doctor Doom, and Doom rarely speaks. Sheriff Strange makes a lot of calls, but when Doom does speak, people get scared. So this is from the comics. I like this. The time jump, though, that's taken from Infinity War to Endgame, kind of, right? We had the 5-year time jump, so we know it works. And what's interesting is this is after they lose. Now, obviously, it's way different from Infinity War, because this is going to be, their loss isn't just, hey, we lost half the people, in our universe. This is, no, we lost the entire multiverse, and now all that's left is just remnants of different universes combined in the void, which I do think makes sense, because right when we saw Deadpool and Wolverine, Cassandra Nova said, I'll destroy every universe until all that's left is the void. And what do we know the void to be? Basically, it's where remnants of universes go when they were pruned by the TVA. So it makes perfect sense that that would be Battleworld. It makes perfect sense that it would consist of a bunch of different universes, because that's literally what it is, the remnants of a bunch of different universes. But there's more to this, and we'll get to that in a bit. But if this report is accurate, an 8-year time jump, that's pretty big. Now, when we get into the ships that save everybody, when we get into the rafts, I'll explain a little bit more about the time jump, because there is kind of a time gap in Secret Wars with people who survive on the rafts. They are actually there on Battle World, but they're not discovered for a long time. And then they don't come out of the rafts for a long time after the creation of Battle World. So that's probably going to be the same here. But it continues and says, new Avengers Secret Wars plot rumor reveals Battle World evil hero variants, returning Infinity Stones, and a god-like Doctor Doom following Avengers Doomsday. So it is reported that there will be evil versions of the heroes. The Infinity Stones return, and in particular, the Soul Stone is the most important of them all, because, according to this report, the Soul Stone can strip a being of cosmic power without destroying their body. Now, when I heard this at first, I thought it was worded a little weirdly. It says, we will reportedly see a powerful, godlike version of Doctor Doom, as the Soul Stone can strip a being of cosmic power without destroying their body. I originally thought, okay, they're going to use the Soul Stone to take away Doom's power and defeat him. But no, what I think this is actually saying is Doom is going to use the Soul Stone to get power from other people, like take the power cosmic from Franklin Richards. That might be how he does it. Or Doom could just do it by himself. The Infinity Stones returning are very interesting, especially after what was established in Loki. They didn't really seem that big of a deal to the TVA, and I don't know what laws are going to put in place for the universe/non-universe, since they're going to be gone. But the Infinity Stones should only work in their respective universe. But the rules have always been kind of, since we got Loki season 1, season 2, Multiverse of Madness, since we're getting basically a new story here, who knows what they're going to say the rules are, but it would be interesting if the stones did come back and this is how they use them. But then it continues and it says, Doctor Doom will create a super prison to contain villains, heroes, and cosmic entities on Battleworld. So that's interesting. So cosmic entities that belong to specific universes, not to the multiverse as a whole, yeah, they could end up on Battleworld as well, and Doom would want to keep them prisoners so nobody else uses their power against him. It does say the surviving Avengers and the champions are the main protagonists. So I believe when they say the champions, they're speaking about the Young Avengers. We have seen leaked concept art of the Young Avengers in Secret Wars. The leaked concept art we saw was for Secret Wars. And I say champions because it was reported from a few insiders a while ago that the Young Avengers project was changed to champions, which I think makes sense because a lot of these so-called Young Avengers, they're not so young. They're adults now. Like if you look at, Cassie Lang, Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, like they're not kids, right? They may not be full adulthood yet, but they're not kids. I don't know if you'd call them Young Avengers. So they reportedly decided to change that. And it says, to clarify, the Avengers are a group of heroes. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. They call themselves the Avengers. Wow, shocker there. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the Avengers, to avenge, right? And what's interesting is yesterday, I believe, Mark Ruffalo did an interview and he said, I'm not going to be in Doomsday. The Hulk's not going to be in Doomsday. Now, of course, take that with a grain of salt because they're never going to say, oh yeah, I'm in it and blah, 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 unless they've already been announced. But we know that there's a bunch of people who haven't been announced who are going to be in it. Like Chris Evans is the perfect example. He didn't get a chair. He wasn't announced, but then he got a whole teaser trailer announcing his return. We haven't heard about the Hulk or Spider-Man. So who knows what happens in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but whatever happens might make it to where they're not in the movie. But we do have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in Doomsday, according to reports, and it does look like Tom Holland's Spider-Man will return in Secret Wars. I would be just shocked if he wasn't in either. If Tom Holland's Spider-Man wasn't in Doomsday or Secret Wars, I would be shocked. So I think he definitely returns for Secret Wars. Now here's some interesting points. Doom takes over Reed's family, taking Sue as his wife and Franklin and Valeria as his children. We will learn a lot about their rivalry, and I'm assuming the rivalry is between Reed and Doom, and how a science and magic project ruined the Victor family because of Reed. A science and magic project. It makes me think something about Victor trying to communicate with his mother after she died, and she's in the hell dimension. That's how that explodes originally while Reed and Victor are in college together, and that's how he gets his scars originally. And Reed always tried to warn Victor about it, and that's kind of where some of the hate for Reed really happened in the comics. So this is kind of taken from that, and the way this sounds, and the way a lot of reports have been sounding lately, actually make it seem like the main Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, is going to be the Doom from the 828 universe. It sounds like he's been out and about the multiverse trying to do stuff, and that's why he wasn't there in Latveria, or that's why he wasn't there for Latveria during the summit in the Fantastic Four First Steps, but it sounds like he might be from that universe originally, which I'm here for. They need that backstory with Reed and Doom, especially if this is what's going to happen. So I like that. This is right from the comics. Doom actually does that. He takes his entire family. He's married to Sue. They have 2 kids, Franklin and Valeria. That's how it works. Also, Franklin is like incredibly close with Galactus, which is really cool. And the last thing it says, and this is the part I said we get to, the only way to survive the collapse of the multiverse is a quantum realm and the TVA ships created by Ouroboros. This is interesting. So it seems like there are going to be types of rafts created by the TVA, created by OB, which makes sense. If there's anybody out there who's going to know how to survive the collapse of the multiverse, how to get outside of space and time, it's going to be someone from the TVA, specifically OB. That makes a ton of sense. And I'm sure Loki knows a lot as well, because remember, he spent just years upon like centuries going back in time to learn everything at the end of Loki season 2. So Loki is incredibly smart as well, right? He understands everything now. So the quantum realm makes a lot of sense. It's been a huge part of the MCU. We've actually heard previous reports that the quantum realm is going to play a big part. We actually heard for Kang Dynasty at the end, they were going to use the quantum realm as well. So since Michael Waldron is still helping write now Doomsday and Secret Wars, he was originally writing Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars. Then it got revealed that the Russos were coming back with Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Sorry,
topic to talk about, but in general, I don't have a script I go off of. I just speak things. But that's kind of what this drawing that I'm doing is. It's a free flow piece. You've seen me doing before if you followed the channel. I have several videos about these where I just draw whatever I want. There's no layout, there's no design. It's just, I'll just start drawing. And whatever happens, happens. Sometimes there's a motif. Every now and then I'll insert some kind of metaphor, visual metaphors, stuff like that. But mostly it's just about me having fun. And these are fun. Or even releasing some stress, some anxiety, if you will. Or maybe even anger, happiness, any emotion really that comes out sometimes. But as you can see, like I jumped from that head, I jumped down to just draw a skull. So, it's come whatever, and I'm going to tie the two pieces together somehow. Like I said, I don't really usually have a plan. I just draw things that I think are cool. And sometimes, like I said, there might be a message behind the actual piece. And it keeps the piece authentic. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about maybe a little bit today, is authenticity. In being, just genuinely authentic in not only in life, but let me sip this coffee real quick. But in your art as well, in your practices of what you do in society, what you do is for work or whatever. It's just, be authentic, be you is really what I'm getting at. Don't try, with art form, especially like art, you can be influenced by other people, and you can I really like, I like John Wayshak. His stuff is influenced by Sam Keith, blah, 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 blah. But that's in the artistic format, and that also does develop and goes into style. Like my last video talked about having a style, and kind of like an identify. Oh, look, I'm drawing Frog G for no reason on a sketch card. Once again, I'm not editing this thing out, so I don't know why I did that. So yeah, but you could draw not only just influences in art, but influences in people's personalities, their character, how they go about things. You could even be inspired by people. You could see you like a humanitarian an individual is doing for some kind of charitable work, and you want to emulate that. That's cool, and you could practice that and make it a part of you, and still stay genuine, still stay authentic. If you've seen me on streams, or in these videos and in real life, it all really is an amalgamation of me. It's me. I might hype up a little bit on a live stream and joke around a lot more, stuff like that. But I like to joke around. You can ask any of my friends. I have a hard time actually taking things seriously, which is actually a flaw. But it's good to know your flaws, I guess. Oh, that's that coffee coming. I just ate pork chops too. But my sister made pork chops. They're delicious. But yeah. So like I said, staying authentic. And like I said, you see me on streams. Now, I also believe there are different personalities to everybody when it comes to work, family, friends, relationships. You kind of treat each scenario in a different, I behave a little differently at work than I do when I'm around my mother. You know what I mean? So it's still you. It's just there's a volume gauge on you, and sometimes you're at 11. Sometimes they go to 11, even though they're not. You just make 10 louder. But that's a Spinal Tap joke. If you're too young, go watch that movie. I'm in my mid 40s, so mid to late 40s, mid-late 40s. Oh, people are home. I was gonna try to record this when people were gone, but yeah. So it's sometimes though you're at like a 3. So it's still you. It's just a little more tame version of you. Like if you see me on streams and hey, there's me. Oh, you just saw me. Look at that. Like I said, I thought I cut that out actually. I did edit a little bit of this because I thought I cut out my face. And see, once again, I added in some arms. I put in a heart. He's holding a heart. Is it broken? Is it bleeding? Does it represent anything? Maybe, maybe not. You have to decide for yourself. And that's the other thing, like with these, like being authentic and genuine. That's also what I try to throw into these pieces, these free flow pieces. I have another one that I did that I'll also do a video of. I have other sketch covers that I did. Because I want to post some comic stuff up too, and I do a lot of comic book stuff. These things I usually only do whenever I'm caught up with everything. So this took me like 5 hours. So anyway, So yeah, so you kind of have to interpret it on you. But there's a genuine part of me in this. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's me. It's so, and I like doing the comic stuff. It's my gig. I want it to be my livelihood. It'd be cool. See, like here's a big time gap. I could have edited this out. As I made this a little longer, I kind of just didn't want to watch it. To be honest with you, I didn't want to watch it and then edit it and trim it down. I was being lazy, and that's fine. You could be lazy in some parts of life, but yeah. So like, stay genuine in your art style. Like I said, you could, and this comes back to even art. And we touched on personality. These videos are long, so I'm gonna ramble. But going into artwork, be genuine, have your style, but you got to develop it as you go. But even your content that you put in, like I can draw fluffy bunnies all day long. It's not really me though. I don't like to paint light. Here's a good example of like being genuine and authentic. I used to do these festivals. My friend would host these festivals and I would partake. And my stuff is very macabre, very dark, horror elements, and also comic book related. And a lot of these festivals, most people were like painting, lighthouses, they had jewelry, animals. My stuff stood out, but it didn't really sell because they were all walk by like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's a good way of saying I like it, but I don't want to buy it, and that's fine. I don't mind. But I'm not going to change the way I do it just to suit a fest. Now, if the festival was, I knew going in, lighthouse themed, I wouldn't even go partake. Or if I did, I would make it a twisted lighthouse, make it more interesting for me to do. So now, as a paying gig, if you're doing a commission, you're this is where also staying authentic and genuine comes into play. In my opinion, is if somebody commissions you to, let's say somebody commissions you to draw Batman, you draw Batman in your style. Let's say you draw like Bruce Timm. You draw Batman like Bruce Timm, and they come back at you like, oh, well, I kind of wanted, this. I kind of wanted a more Jim Lee style. It's like, well, first off, hire somebody that draws like Jim Lee then. And also, you now, and this is up to you. It's not saying you're breaking your authenticity, but you could fire back and be like, look, this is how you hired me for the gig. You knew how I drew. This is what you got. You get paid for the work I did. If you don't like it, you don't finish paying me. Like I'll keep it and sell it later, but you pay me for what I did do. You can do that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can also just say, hey, fine, I'll change it if you want. I like money too. Don't get me wrong. I've drawn things I didn't want to do, but I try not. People who hire me usually know my style, and that's why they hire me. Needless to say, I don't do too many commission stuff. I mean, people ask, but and not that I don't do commissions, but anyway. So yeah, but that's I'm genuine in that regard. Like it's like this is what you get, and if you don't like it, that's cool. You're allowed to not like it, but I am who I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm not Popeye the Sailor Man. You're probably too young. Anyway, most people watch this are in their mid-50s anyway. You're not too young. But yeah, so I just think it's important, like in life, in character, and in what you do, try to stay as genuine as possible and know when to bend it, know when to adapt, and like I said, I hope you like this piece. Like I said, these free flow pieces are a lot of fun. I enjoy doing them. I put them up for sale, either on the website and stuff, which the link for that is in the bottom. Here's the pan down for this. Check out the website. Links in the description below. I really appreciate everybody watching. Leave a comment on what you think is what you're genuine about, authenticity, and all that other fun stuff. Thank you once again. I really appreciate y'all, and have a great one.
Hello, welcome back to GOT. Today we're going to talk about the updated SSD in the Mac Mini. I did a video on this a few months ago. I put a 2 terabyte SSD replacing the original 256 gigabyte. Let's talk about it. Now, since I've installed this internal SSD on my Mac Mini M4, it's the basic model that I paid $499 for. This thing has really performed well, and I've got a lot of questions. As a matter of fact, the video had over 400,000 views, and I've gotten thousands of requests on, is it still performing well? How well does it do? Can you get updates? And so many more. And we're going to answer those in just a few minutes. But before then, I'm going to go ahead and run some benchmarks on the SSD that's in here, the 2 terabyte, and we're going to compare it to the original SSD, which was 256 gigabytes, as well as this new Acasis external Thunderbolt 5 enclosure with one of the fastest SSDs out there. It's a 4 terabyte 9100 made by Samsung. And this thing is really screaming fast. And we're going to see how it compares, because Thunderbolt 5, as you know, is really fast. But I've always said an internal SSD that has a lot more NANDs and is faster will outperform these external drives. And let's see what happens here. As you can see right here, I've got my Mac Mini right in front of me, as well as a touchscreen, which is really nice. And I'm going to go ahead and use my mouse though instead, because it's much more accurate. And we're going to go ahead and run some tests here. And as you can see here, I'm using Blackmagic design, and this thing is really nice for this kind of a test. And what I'm going to do first is, well, I'm just going to test it right here, straight up. And I'm going to test it right from my download file, because I've got a lot of downloads there. And we'll just go ahead and save that. And as you can see here, we'll start the test. How's it going? It's performing pretty good. It's getting close to 3,000 here right off the get-go. It gets a little faster over time, so we'll just give it a few tries here. So you can see we're at 3,300 right, 2,900. Now I found that this happens no matter what kind of SSD I have, whether it's an external or internal. It needs to ramp up with this program. So you can see it's doing pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and lock in this next score as we finish the read here, right there. So we've got 3343, which is pretty good. So it's 3,300 write speed and a 2,900 or nearly 3,000 read speed. So that's pretty good. Now, looking at the original, you can see here on the screen from my previous video. Okay, now let's go ahead and we'll test it against the cases. But before we do, let's go ahead and do an internal test again. I think I did something wrong the first time, because I know the speeds are a little bit faster. So we'll go ahead, let this select, and we'll just go and select what we were at downloads before. We'll do downloads again, open it, and let's go ahead and start. And here we go. Look at this. We've got 4,400 speeds and 28. So the write speed is quite a bit faster than the 256 gigabyte. And it's only gotten better over time. And that could be because of some updates that I have received with Mac's OS system. So that was one of the questions. Can you still receive updates? Let me go ahead and lock this in. There we go. Can we still receive updates with the Mac Mini having a different SSD that wasn't from Apple? Well, yes, we can, and I've received several. And as you can see, these speeds are really improved. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and capture this screen here, and we're going to set this image here to the side, and then we're going to go ahead and test again. This time, we're going to go ahead and test with the cases, as we said. And this is a much faster Thunderbolt 5 drive, but I don't think we're going to do as well on Thunderbolt 4. So let's go ahead and test it. And you can see there's the cases right there. So before we test this case, let's just go ahead and verify the SSD by opening up the utility here. And you can see the SSD inside the Mac is a 2 terabyte, and that cases as a 4 terabyte. Now, the larger the drive, the more NADs it has, which means it should write faster. However, because this is an external drive, we may not get those speeds. So let's go ahead and we're going to choose a cases, and we will go ahead and just choose any file here. We'll just choose my animations file here. It's got a lot of videos in it. All right, so here we go. Let's get this thing started. And there we go. Okay, we've got 36, 30. So we've got faster speeds. Oh, it's starting to pick up. So we'll give it a little bit of time. It looks like we're getting a faster read speed with the cases, but we're not getting the faster write speed. The faster write speed is still the SSD that's on the motherboard or inside the Mac Mini itself. So I don't think you can get faster speeds than what you have internally. But if you want something that's close or similar without having to get the SSD, you can go with an Acasis. Now, the thing about that is you got to spend a lot of money. Okay, this Acasis, I believe, is upwards around $299. And then this right here is like $425 if you catch it on sale. So Now you're up to over $700-800. You might as well pay for that upgrade internally on the Mac Mini. Of course, you have to do that when you buy it because I don't think Samsung will sell it to you outside of that. Let me go ahead and lock this one in. There we go. So you can see the differences in the speed is quite a bit when it comes to write on the internal, but when it's reading, it's very nominal. It's about the same. It's a little bit faster on the cases, and that's with Thunderbolt 4. So for those folks that say, you can get an external drive and you can get just as fast as you could if you bought the SSD to put on the internal, I say that's not so, in most cases at least. This is the fastest external drive that I've seen out there. It's a Thunderbolt 5, and it's the only one that I know that has the firmware that'll actually do the fastest SSD. This SSD is capable of writing and reading up to 14,000 megabytes per second. That is screaming, but Thunderbolt does not allow that just yet. So there's got to be some other way to do that at some point. But this is the only drive that I know that will actually run this. I can put this in. I have a Zyke drive, but that Zyke drive runs it quite a bit slower because it's only Thunderbolt 4. Now, there might be some other Thunderbolt 5 drives out there that you can put it in, but this one seemed to be working the best for me. It's got a built-in fan, which you cannot hear no matter how much you try. I put it up against my microphone in other videos, and you can check out that video if you want to on the channel where I review this cases. So now it's time to hear from you. I want you to drop a comment down below. Tell me, what do you think is better, internal SSD or an external Thunderbolt 4 SSD through an external drive? Because your opinion does matter. So a lot of people actually comment on my last video, and there's been a lot of chatter. Now, for those of you that stuck around this long, I got a special gift for you. Before I tell you what that is, take a second, do me a favor, click that like button down below because it really does help out the channel. So here's what I'm going to do. This right here is an SSD 2 terabyte for the Mac Mini M4. Not the Mac Mini Pro, but the Mac Mini M4, the basic model. So if you buy it out of the store, it comes with a 256 gig. You can get 2 terabytes right here. And I'm going to give this away. Now, here's the requirements for this giveaway because I've got to benefit from this, you know. I need at least 1,000 likes, 1,000 comments, and 20,000 views. Now, to qualify for winning this, I need you to go ahead and make sure you comment below something like, I would love to have the 2 terabyte SSD. Now, you can phrase it any way you want to, but it needs to have the 2 terabyte SSD in it. So when I search, I can find you and enter you to win. Now, there is one more step, and I need you to go to gotogoodoldtech.com. And once you do, you go to the main page. There'll be a link to go ahead and register for this drawing. And then as soon as we hit 1,000 likes, 1,000 comments, and 20,000 views, this could be yours. And lastly, I want to thank you for viewing this, my original video. I appreciate all the support. Now, if you want to see a full review on the Cases external drive, check out this video here. If you want to see the review on install and the install of this SSD, check out this video over here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos. Have a wonderful day and God bless.
Hello and welcome to This Is. Finally, someone gets it.
Really? Who gets it? I'm really curious. Who?
Well, according to our comment section, GameSir. But
after CES, as always for the last few years, it is a show with AI absolutely everywhere. You can't walk 10 feet without bumping your head on some sign that says "Powered by AI," blah, blah, blah. But there was actually some interesting, I don't want to say anti-AI stuff, but there was some interesting, like, sort of counter pitches. The big one was Dell were very sort of straightforward and honest. They're like, hey, guess what? Saying the word AI over and over again is just kind of confusing people. So we're just gonna, you know, rename our laptops back to XPS. They're just sort of bringing their marketing back to, I would say, planet Earth, and not just using the word AI 700 times to wave away all the problems.
So when we first started seeing AI stuff, they promised us the world and then didn't deliver. AI has infinite infinite possibilities. Here's a picture of a duck. Like,
well, and you think about Apple Intelligence, the iPhone 15 launched with all of the billboards. It didn't work. Like, it literally wasn't even launched until like a couple months after. I think it makes sense for companies like Dell, and I would assume that other companies are going to follow suit. Having an NPU, having AI features, great as like a thing that you could give as an option.
Yes.
No one wants to hear it.
At no point did a company really show you what the benefit. Everything that AI showed you, it was something that you could already do, but worse. You look at like all the commercials and just like, hey Gemini, is this plant dead? AI has been trying to catch up with the marketing.
Yeah, it just got ahead of it. Like, you got out above your skis. There are like legitimately useful things that you can do, not only with like cloud-based AI and stuff, but also like there's a lot of local stuff you can do on your device. But the problem is that when you oversell things to such a ridiculous degree, it sort of almost like poisons the well a little bit. And I think that's part of the reason why there's such a sort of negative feedback on AI right now. And I think it's refreshing to see Dell actually being upfront and honest and say, hey, guess what? This is still stuff we're shipping, but we're just going to market this as an XPS. We're also going to market it as a laptop that is good at being a laptop. Also, AI stuff.
That's the thing, is because they like what they're doing is marketing the actual features of the device and the actual benefits of it instead of marketing a buzzword that has gotten so oversaturated that it actually overshadows the real useful features.
If you think about like what AI is right now, it's really difficult for you to sell your product with some crazy feature that you can just like go to chatgpt.com. The second bucket, which I think is a little bit more interesting, is stuff that runs on device. So you think about something like any of the Copilot PCs that have an NPU. If y'all have used Windows Search with a Copilot PC, it actually does a good job because basically in the background, the NPU with like a low power state actually is properly indexing your files. Obviously, if you have something like an NVIDIA GPU, or they have their Project G Assist, which is basically a local little like chat model that runs on your actual GPU. And it actually works really well for like changing settings in your games. And without needing to go out to the cloud, it just will figure out whatever your graphics card and your sort of your mod is. That's legitimately useful stuff that you need to run on your device.
That's a legitimately useful feature that a couple of years ago, before the AI started going off, if they announced a feature like that, that would be an insane selling point for these GPUs. But because they're like, hey, we use AI to do this, now everyone's rolling their eyes because it's gotten so oversaturated.
This video is sponsored by Small Rig. Take it from us. If you are at all serious about creating video, capturing quality audio is important. That is where Small Rig comes in.
We just got back from CES and we checked out their booth, but one of the things that caught our eye was these brand new S70 lavs that you're listening to right now.
Not an audio expert? No worries, because Small Rig's mics come with 9 Pro EQ presets tuned by 4-time Grammy Award-winning recording engineer Luca Bernardi. Small Rig's advanced noise reduction and clipping protection can be adjusted to 3 different levels based on ambient noise levels, so you can make sure to record what you want and less of what you don't.
They are super compact, super discreet. I bet a lot of you didn't even notice that we're wearing a microphone right now. They also have these little covers and blend in with your shirt. It's logo free because you don't want to be advertising the brand. You want to just be advertising yourself and the good audio that you're recording.
And you also don't have to worry about getting out of range either, because the Small Rig's 984-foot range means you can put 3 football fields between the mic and the receiver without any interruption.
There are 3 ways to connect. You have aux, USB-C, or Lightning, and with 5 levels of gain for cameras and 3 levels of gains for connecting to a phone, you have all the versatility that you need.
You'll also be getting pro sound with 360-degree clarity. We're talking about 70 decibels of signal to noise ratio, 120 decibels of SPL, and 48 kilohertz 24-bit audio.
Are you ready to record something that sounds great? Well, check out the link in the description. Again, thank you to Small Rig for sponsoring this video and making a really nice little microphone for us to use.
It's poisoned the well, because I think at this point, people just hear AI and like recoil.
Yeah, companies need to shut the fuck up about it. We know it's AI. We know it's being used by it. If you look at the equivalent, like, we have a screen. Yeah, they're all built in with it.
Actually, Larian, the developers of Baldur's Gate 3 and the new Divinity game, they did an AMA recently, and they got a lot of questions about their use of AI and Gen AI. And they were very clear, like, we're not going to use it for like assets in the game. Maybe we use it a little bit for concept and stuff. But they were trying to pivot it to like, oh, we're using machine learning to help us do like QA and stuff. And it's like, the AI word has gotten so sort of stigmatized. For context, machine learning has been used in the camera app of every phone for like 10 plus years. I think that people hear AI and are largely like, ick, you're painting such a broad brush. It is almost to the point where you go, ooh, using a computer for something gross. It's like the cloud-based stuff, which you can make real arguments to like, oh, there are issues with the power grid, there's issues with data centers, there's issues with completion, there's issues with water. Like, there's a lot of stuff you could talk about on that side of things. I think generally speaking, on local devices, it's a lot easier to swallow because it's just your computer, they take an extra watt or two.
And like, I think that's the that's the real thing that like I worry about privacy. Like the AI that I do use, I worry very much what I put in there.
Broadly speaking, most of the cloud-based AI platforms are going to be using your data. It will generally opt you in and opt in your data for training purposes. To be fair, privacy policies are complicated everywhere, and lots of people take your data, not just AI companies.
So one of the things I was happy about seeing was a legitimate push at CES for more local. NVIDIA already had a box out, but they were showing off some improvements.
DGX Spark.
The idea is that like you put that in a server room and that can run locally across your network. Is more meant for enterprise stuff than realistically, but that means your enterprise data is staying within the enterprise. The other thing that NVIDIA showed us when we had our brief was probably the first time that I looked at an AI like software and said, not only is this a really good idea, I think this is like, I need this. A software, Nexa, they are partnering with NVIDIA.
With this software, what you would do is basically it just sits there and it just watches all the video and music. It just indexes everything on your drive. So you can do a simple search like, look for a man in a leather jacket on a stage, and it would pull up that clip from 2015 where Jensen was up on stage talking about XYZ or whatever. We've talked about this for years. This has been a long-term project for us because we have so much footage. We have it organized, but ultimately it's only organized to a point. So you can do a simple search and dig up literally terabytes and terabytes worth of data almost instantly. And that's cool.
And yeah, media management software like this has existed for years, but the problem like that we run into is someone has to go through and tag all that stuff.
And it would be, for the level of footage we have, it would be someone
almost
staring
a full-time
at
job.
a computer screen 8 hours a day for probably a year and a half to 2 years. You could just have a box with the GPU on your network just watching. Now, to be fair, what we're talking about right here is not fully done. So the software that they had built, it was like early days. It was mostly just meant for like, you know, categorize your receipts and like some video clips on your desktop or whatever. But this is, I think, an incredibly cool use. I think that's when we talk about sort of AI, it's just such a difficult topic. People have such a sort of gut reaction of like, bad, bad, bad. But there are uses for this that can be useful and helpful if it's done right and it's not oversold.
And that's what Dell basically said, is AI means nothing anymore. It's because if you're selling the feature and the feature's actually good, it's gonna sell.
Very recently, we heard that Apple are teaming up with Google on Apple Intelligence. Apple Intelligence, not the world's greatest launch.
No, it's a dumpster fire.
The only thing that I can say is vaguely interesting with Apple Intelligence is that it will summarize your notifications. However, Google are officially licensing Gemini as the model for Apple's use. So right now, if you're using an Apple device with Apple Intelligence, it is using one of the Apple's foundation models, which they have made themselves. The problem is that Apple have fallen way behind. They were never in the running to begin with, right? Apple's going to be paying Google reportedly $1 billion, which sounds like a lot until you remember that Google pay Apple like $10 or $20 billion a year to be the default search. So this is not like, hey, you're just gonna push the button for Siri or whatever, and it's just gonna open up Gemini. The way it's supposed to work is that it is just purely the model, not the actual product. From your perspective, imagine Siri actually being good and smart because it is running with a smarter model. One of the differences between something like Siri or like old Alexa compared to something new. Siri, if you use it right now, is basically hand-built. And what I mean by that is that pretty much every response that Siri could possibly give has been written by a dude. And as soon as you get off one of those paths or anything like that, it breaks and it doesn't work. I think it's really interesting to think about it from the perspective of it is so expensive to develop these models and to deploy them, even though all these companies are burning giant piles of money. Anthropic said something to the effect that they actually would be profitable if you take the model training, so the actual like sort of making the model out of the equation.
My car company would be super profitable if I didn't have to build it. I think the biggest telling of how unprofitable this actually is that now supposedly ChatGPT, they're ready to roll out ads in their responses.
But the thing with OpenAI is they have bet the company and then some on the idea that this thing scales at an incredibly fast rate. You got to 10x every year or two, a few more times to be able to get to where they're going. There is no middle ground happy place. OpenAI wins or explodes. There's nothing in the middle.
So when we talk about like AI bubble popping, it's not like, oh, the bubble pops and AI goes away. That's why I appreciate seeing more on-device stuff, which is that's where I think the legitimate future is. As soon as you say like, hey, I'm gonna start adding ads to this, you shoot yourself in the foot.
It's aggressive, but they have grown incredibly quickly. And if they continue to grow and they turn up the monetization dials of getting you to subscribe, how is that different than any other platform that's added ads?
If a $1 trillion company is not profitable, that is like, in my opinion, the definition of speculative. Ad is the recession indicator.
Ad
Ad
they can't find another way of monetizing.
Right. They literally can't find any other way to make money after $1 trillion. I think you're gonna see a huge user base leave if you start having ads in there.
I disagree with that. How many platforms out there, like when they add ads to X or Y or Z, everyone gets grumpy for a second and then just gets used to it. Like just ads run the internet.
There's very few things that the individual user has control over. The one control you do have is, hey, this thing that was already not super great just got shittier.
Well, that's almost an argument for Google because Google have put Gemini in everything, and Google, unlike OpenAI, are a very profitable company. That's, I think, why OpenAI are pushing so hard, because basically they have to become such a massive scale to become sort of essentially like undefeatable, and they're betting the company and then some, right?
No, they're not betting the company, they're betting the economy.
I don't want to be like sort of a real big defendo here or something, but like you can understand if you're OpenAI, right? Like you don't have another path. You're already committed. You've got to make this thing work. You're Sam Altman. You get to run it for the next year. What are you gonna do?
Shut down the actual ChatGPT side of things.
So ChatGPT, flip the switch, turn it off. Got it. Okay. Then what?
Like you said, it takes a lot to train these models.
Yep.
Sell the models to enterprises, not the service. I'll give you the model, which then
you can run on freaking Azure
your
or
local
AWS or whatever, sure. So you're not trying to be a consumer company. You're trying to be just an enterprise company. The problem is if you did that, all of your investors, if you give all that money, would be so mad that your company would explode immediately.
Look, all right. We've gotten real close over the past couple of years. I'm not a libertarian. But
go ahead, finish that sentence, my dude.
But this is not exactly a hot take, but capitalism has just gone too far. There is no competition anymore. Like you say,
monopolies are incredibly powerful.
Right. I want to get excited for things like AI because you think of like all of the technology that could come of this. People are talking about like microslop. Like it's just AI slop.
I just like
blah,
saying
blah, blah.
microslop.
Yeah,
it's just a fun word to say.
How many times has someone said, I want a Jarvis? But because of the way that this money pit of system works, it's ruined.
The argument here is that too much too fast without thinking about the consequences.
Right.
Just full speed.
How are we going to make the dollar today? Yeah. The problem is there's no regulation. There's no anything. If OpenAI went away tomorrow, like the consequence is everyone else's. This is all the AI groups. Instead of trying to make this just like, oh, our company's going to be the most profitable company in the world. If it's like, hey, we developed this thing and we can find a way to make money by sharing it.
Basically, the problem is that it is a race. It is everyone going full speed to build the ultimate AI, and we're gonna rule the world, rule the market, yada, yada, yada. I think what you're arguing for, correct me if I'm wrong, is some kind of oversight. Maybe government or someone to say, hey, maybe chill out a little bit, little bro.
Yeah.
Maybe consider, I don't know, the benefit of humanity or just not being complete lunatics. It's a full speed race. It's like, hey, no rules, go for it. Best person, company wins. There are essentially no rules, no guidelines. It is the Wild West. No one wants to deal with red tape and rules and stuff like that. That's fair. I get it. But I do think that there is an argument here, a pretty good argument that a lot of people could agree with, that some kind of oversight, some adult in the room somewhere besides trusting companies to make the decisions on their own, and the only people policing you whatsoever are yourselves. And as soon as someone else takes one step a little bit further, they go, well, they did it, we might as well do it too.
We saw on the Lenovo keynote for AI, like one of the single most horrifying things that I've seen, for them to be like, hey, we have this body cam. Their whole slogan was, see what you see, hear what you see. I think that's great.
It's not the only one.
If you're in control of your data, but you're not. So if this was going to my private server that only I can access, cool.
No, even then, I don't think it works, because then the problem is that anything that is recording you, by definition, is recording everyone around you. I don't want your AI pen to be recording every word I say to you. Like, I just think that, like, even if you build this in the most sort of ethically correct way, which is running on your device, not going out to the cloud, not being leaked, I don't want someone recording me all the time. That's not okay. This comes back to, I think, our earlier point. When there are no rules, it's a free-for-all. Exciting, fun things happen. And also, shit breaks and goes wrong. And I think if there's an adult in the room to kind of steer some guidance, some rules, something to keep things moving in a good direction and maybe prune some of the worst impulses, I think that would go a long way. And unfortunately, we're in a full-on arms race, and all that matters is who gets to the proverbial finish line, whatever the hell that looks like. and that is it.
Like, follow, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. And sorry for setting off all of your series so much in this episode.
These are 2 PCs I found from the trash, and I'm going to try to make one good PC out of it because we need a new streaming PC here at our shop. Now, one of the benefits of working at an e-waste facility is you get random donations like this, which is what we think this was. So this has a motherboard. That's the only thing that's in here. There's no CPU, there's no fans, there's no power supply. Now, on this one, there's a bunch of dents. It's missing every single panel. The hard drive is gone. I don't even know if this thing boots. I don't even know what Intel this is. Probably a 3rd gen or something like that. 2nd, 3rd, I don't even know. This is a DDR like -3. It's an old computer. Now this stood out because it was just donated to Trident Electronics, where we partner with. And we saw this motherboard. It doesn't look like any of the pins are bent. I haven't even opened this up. But I Googled this, and it takes a 13th gen Intel CPU. And it just so happens that our old cloning station takes a 13th gen Intel CPU. And that's just doing nothing. It's rotting away because we have a new cloning station, which you should check out in this video. Ding! And we're trying to figure out what to do with the old one. And here we are. This is a perfect option. I'm hoping the motherboard isn't bad. But I don't have too much faith because why would you get rid of this computer and keep the motherboard in the computer unless it was broken and you didn't upgrade? But that's what we're gonna find out today. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is test this computer because I don't know what works and what doesn't work. This one has nothing to test. Makes my life a little bit easier. I wanna see if I can scrounge the fans on this guy.
RGB lights, baby.
Oh my, geez, Louise.
Wow, look at all that dust.
That's a lot of gooch.
Got some 3-wheel motion.
3-wheel motion.
Fan spinning, wheels grinning.
Car stop, but my rims keep spinning. Now, clearly this thing has seen better days, but hopefully the fans work because I think that's the only thing realistically I can take from this computer. This power supply probably is not enough wattage to power what we need, but we won't find out until we find out. So let's find out. All right. That's normal. Used to work. There's dust just emanating off of this thing into my mouth. Remember Gold Dust? What a weird guy.
He wasn't weird.
You're weird. All right, so I don't know what video card this is, but this thing only has a display port. It is the world's smallest video card. All right. What's the power button? Greatest ignition.
Wow.
Don't you.
The greatest technician that's ever lived.
I don't hear no bad bearings.
No, I don't hear any bad bearings either.
I don't even see the bad news bears.
Oh, we have post. Hold on, 16 gigs. What? i5 3570K.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't even know what that means.
Press F1 to run setup. Well, the keyboard works. One button on the keyboard works. No bootable device. Oh my God. Look at this. Somebody toss this into the trash. I mean, 3rd gen i5. It's probably not really that good. Let's get a peek-see into here though. Do we have working fans? The power supply fan works. All the fans work. The GPU fan is going hard. Was it a Fire Pro? Oh, it's a Fire Pro. Yeah, so this is definitely like a workstation of some sort. We have fans. That is beautiful news to me. Perfect. Now we know the fans work on this thing. That means we can rob it. Look at this.
Wow, reminds me of my bed.
You have a spring bed?
Yeah, man. So my back is always messed up.
My back isn't messed up because not only do I have a nice bed, I also have a nice chair. The Libernovo Omni.
The world's first dynamic ergonomic chair that actually adjusts to your body shape no matter what position you're in throughout the day. Because this is what proper posture looks like, and this is what I've been doing for my entire life. Slouching and craning my neck, which is why I have constant back pain and look like a brontosaurus. All because cheap chairs like this create a gap in the backrest, leading to nothing but pain and misery for anyone who sits in it. I was able to use the lumbar adjustments to make the backrest fit my body perfectly, something I've struggled with in the past since I have the body size of a tiny raccoon and most chairs are made specifically for Andre the Giant. They call this system the Bionic Flex Fit Backrest, and it does exactly that. Fits to the exact form of your body no matter your position. The Omni has multiple adjustments for this system that you can control with these buttons on the armrest, and it even has a massage function that stretches you out when you need a break and Lupe's not around. You can recline into multiple angles up to 160 degrees and And for people like me that need a footrest to make sure your feet are on a flat surface, you can get one that adjusts to 2 different heights. But no one stays in one position throughout the day, and the Omni adjusts with you instead of the other way around like with other chairs. The adjustable neck rest makes sure your neck is supported in any position, which for someone like me that already has text neck, is quite literally a gift from the gods. The armrests are adjustable in every which way and help keep your arms level with the desk to avoid shoulder strain or wrist pain. Now, I've reviewed chairs in the past, and none have even come close to the comfort and fit of the Omni. Libernovo's main goal was to make sure every body type could experience proper posture using this chair. They spared no expense, and it really shows. It's all powered by a removable battery that lasts 30 days during normal use and only takes 3 hours to fully charge. But if you're tired of blowing your back out, give the Libernovo Omni a shot. Just check out the link in the description and the pinned comment for more info.
It's time to rob some fans. We definitely can't use the power supply.
Looks like I chewed that.
I don't think we can use the SATA cables either.
Wow.
Yeah. How are these fans plugged in? Let's see. Oh yes. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So these are the 2 front fans. Rear fan plugged into the motherboard. And this is the CPU fan. Do we need a CPU fan? We might need an extra fan. Oh, that fan ain't looking too hot, but we have 1 fan. Corsair. Success. We have 2. Perfect. Let's collect all our screws and all. It's a lot of dust.
Yes.
All right, these guys clip in and then they're mounted to the little clippity doodah. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
That's some good stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Don't throw it in the trash. Whew. Yeah. Now that we have our fans, we need to clean these bad boys out because I don't even want to be in the same room with them. They're quite disgusting. And while we're in here, wouldn't be a video unless Lupe injures himself. That was a big one too. Lupe almost died just now.
Freaking boxes in the way.
OSHA, what's going on over here? I'm not here for 2 days. Look what happens. So let's crank up my heating bill. Good as new. We need to grab the rest of the stuff we're going to be using to build this computer. This is our cloning station, our old one. Has a 13th gen Intel CPU, just like I said. We're going to steal that, and then we're going to steal this cloning station power supply for now, because I have one arriving tomorrow. Corsair RM1000X. But everybody's wondering, what video card are you going to use? This one right here. 3070 Ti Founders Edition.
Oh, I was looking at the box. Whoops.
The greatest cameraman that's ever lived.
This was my dad's old video card that he tried to plug an HDMI into the display port and then it like blew up and it wouldn't work. And then we had it at the shop for like a year because it wouldn't work with us. And then we sent it to Northwest Repair and he just plugged it in and it worked. I don't know what you did, man. You did your magic touch or whatever and then it worked. And here we are. Our fans, our RTX 3070 Ti, our power supply. Hold on, don't think I didn't think of this already. Oh, now good thing I brought these from home. My 4090 does not have any power right now, so I hope this works. Now this is the sketchy part. I have to remove the 13th gen Intel CPU from our old board and then transfer it into the motherboard that we don't even know works. And I hate removing CPUs. It skeeves me out. I get very sketched out. This CPU has been in here for almost a year now, probably about 11 months now.
Jesus Christ.
What the hell? What happened here?
What did you do?
Oh, I know what happened. This is the stock Intel. Oh, this is what it is, dude. We had an AIO on here when we did all the tests.
Oh,
and then we swapped it to the stock Intel cooler, and we never changed it ever since.
Wow.
Well, that's the stock thermal paste on the Intel CPU. Well, less thermal paste for us to clean up. Oh God, I hate that noise.
Like my knees.
It kind of does sound like your knees, to be honest. Go, tiny raccoon-like fingers. And we're gonna pick straight up. That's how you do it. That's how pros do it. Steal the RAM. We all know how expensive DDR5 RAM is now.
Well, we're not gonna be eating the cats.
Is the front, I don't know if the top panel's supposed to be like that.
Well, there is tape.
Oh, there's electrical tape. Oh dear. Oh, looks like he broke some mounts off.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally.
PEMDAS. I failed math. Yeah, looks like he broke some mounts off of this thing. Whoever messed with this And it was dropped, clearly. It's a little Gucci. We're gonna have to clean that out later. But most importantly, I just want to make sure that this motherboard works. Tempered glass, handled with care.
Thank you.
I'm so scared. Let's check this socket out, babies. How's that socket looking? That looks immaculate. That socket does not look bad. There are no bent pins. Let's hope. Perfect.
Wow, they should hire you to do the Apollo 13 when you go back in time.
The Apollo 13. So we're gonna take our single stick of DDR5 and I'm gonna look for where it needs to be going first. So A2, B2, so we're gonna just slap it into B2.
A2, D2.
I don't think it matters if it's A2 or B2 as long as it's one of those. And I'm not gonna put everything together yet because if this doesn't work, I just don't wanna waste all that time. So I'm just going to plug in the power supply and the CPU. And I'm gonna mount that Intel heatsink just temporarily onto it to see if it posts. If we get post, I'm gonna be very happy, dude. That is gonna be awesome because that means we just got a streaming PC, a 13th gen Intel streaming PC for very little money from things we already had laying around, minus the power supply. The power supply is the one that we did have to purchase, unfortunately. Everything else we had laying around. Both CPU pins are in. We got the 24-pin power supply in here, and now we're just gonna put our heatsink on here temporarily. Okay, it's touching metal, that's all I care about. So let's plug it in. Power? Power pins aren't connected. Damn it, we're gonna have to short it out. Short out with the tweezers. Power button.
Oh, we got power.
We have a blinking DRAM light. Oh, now we have another light.
Oh, there it is.
Oh! We have 3 lights. We have a boot light, DRAM light, and VGA light. I'm pretty sure that's normal. Oh god.
Yeah, it's turning.
CPU is overheating. It works. It works. A free motherboard that is much better than the one we use for the cloning station. I am pumped. I'm going to leave that in there. I'm going to unplug all the PSU cables because now we need to actually wire it properly. Now that we know it works, we need to wire it properly. It's getting late and I'm hungry. I'm starving.
Speaking about food, Jersey Mike's.
Oh, Jersey Mike's. I love Jersey Mike's. So now that we know everything works, I removed the power supply. We need to clean it out because this is the only chance I'm gonna have before we assemble this entire thing to actually give it a thorough cleaning. It doesn't look too bad, but there is quite a lot of dust where the bottom fans were, and then in the back right here, that's where the power supply was. There's a bunch of dust here, and there's some dust in the front where the intake fans are. I really like these cases. Listen, man, Height makes really good cases. It's interesting that this is CyberPower because I thought Height was exclusive to iBuyPower, but I don't know anything about anything. But I really like these Height cases. Shout out to the new Height X50 Air. That's probably gonna be my next case because I just like what Height's doing. They do stuff differently than everybody else, but this is an advertisement for Height, so let's go clean this bad boy out. I also do like how easy these things are to disassemble and to clean. Okay, panels. One panel. Should we keep the electrical tape? I feel like we should keep the electrical tape.
Yeah, man, you know, good luck.
It's good. I mean, it fits our whole aesthetic here. Take a look at this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
Yep. So I'm gonna just put this on the floor so we can clean all these. And we're gonna do it with a toothbrush I found a few minutes ago.
Hey.
What?
Isn't that mine?
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, unfortunately, this would be a good time for the Gooch Collector to come in. But as you can see, he's having a rough time over there. He tried to come in through the ceiling the other day. Sometimes you can't spawn the way you want to spawn, you know what I mean? Now, you guys think I bought this for memes. It's actually helpful because this actually gets in the grooves that the smaller toothbrushes can't get in. Using AI gum tech. It's my new AI crypto something. This is a genuinely useful toothbrush. It's hilarious that it worked out like it did because I bought it for the memes, but look at that. I should quite literally sell this toothbrush as a PC cleaning toothbrush. Beautiful. So we are all cleaned out, as clean as we're gonna get, and it looks brand new. Look what I found. That's how this guy was securing the side panel. A little snug for the nub.
Hell yeah.
And it stays in there. Then the rest of the electrical tape holds it in. Me in this case were meant to be. We're gonna slap a power supply in this bad boy.
That's how you do it, Schneebly.
That's how I do it. We are going to actually wire it semi-properly. Magically, we have a few cables wired off camera because it takes way too long. Now, I ran into an issue. Do you see this? Where am I gonna put the GPU? Right? I'm gonna put the GPU right here, right? PCI slot? No, we don't have space. It's a vertically mounted GPU, which I love. I love vertically mounted GPUs, but we have no vertical mount. It looks like they took that with them. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna use our PCIe extender board thing that we use for the cloning station. We're gonna sacrifice that, and we're gonna put the GPU here. We're gonna screw it in here, and everybody's gonna be happy. We're gonna be happy. I'm getting hot. Come here. I want you guys to see this. This is one of the greatest gifts that I have. It's not my massive dong. It is these tiny raccoon-like fingers and my ability to be able to grab wires. There it is. There's the second one. Where's the HD audio? Oh geez, are we over here? It's good. Tuck that over there. All right, I'm hot. I'm gonna change. Now that our wires are installed beautifully, I'm gonna install the GPU. But I have some problems here because this riser is very long and I don't need it to be very long. So it's gonna be a little tough to mount this bad boy. A little tough, but we're gonna try to make it work. Oh, pain, right? I know, I feel the pain too. See what we can do though, folks. That's what we're doing. The whole point of this is to use as the least amount of parts as possible that we have laying around. Oh, you know what? There we go. All right, GPU's in, and we have quite a lot of slack here with these cables. Man, I just really wish in the future we can develop some sort of standard that's better than what we have now, because what the hell, why are we still doing this in 2025 with like this amount of just cables and nonsense? It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. I understand standards take a long time to adopt, but holy crap, we're just stuck. Instead of innovating, we just throw RGB on everything. And by we, I mean all you freaking companies. Get in there, get in there. Okay, like this is insane. This is absolutely insane.
We need wireless cables.
Wireless cables. I have a Bluetooth girlfriend.
I am Blade Runner.
I'm a synth. So for the NVMe, what are we gonna go with?
500.
500?
Or one terabyte. Yes.
1 terabyte, excuse me, Mr. Raccoon. 1 terabyte, Gen 4 NVMe. Cool, I got the screw, not a fucking screwdriver.
Screw it with your teeth.
Linus, your bearing broke on me, my dude. What the heck? What's with that? These have a warranty, I'm just too lazy to file one. I'm too busy to file one. Who has time to file warranty claims? I wonder if this motherboard has a Windows license still tied to it. Probably gonna be Windows Home, if anything, I would guess.
Nah, it's gonna be network or enterprise.
Enterprise hasn't. I would love to just be a visitor in your brain. Just to see what happens in there. Just to smell the smoke burning. Before I install the Thermalright heatsink, I realized it'd be much easier if I just install the exhaust fan right now, because I won't have to fight. Even my tiny raccoon-like hands can't really fit in between the exhaust fan and the heatsink. So now we have our Corsair fan installed, and it's time for our Thermalright. Next up is the heatsink. Thermalright, unfortunately we could not find a heatsink in the trash or anything, so we are gonna use I love this heatsink.